You don't want to debate because you don't want to talk about the Talmud, do you? No, you don't. Would you like to talk about the death of Jesus, maybe? Are you sure record this stuff? Well, you wouldn't? How about the Gentile babies 3 years old? Are they allowed to be fucked in the Talmud? I'm just asking. Are you sure? I have to phone. My phone's died. I'll show you the Talmud.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say to you
is... You don't want to do it? No, because I've never, I just want to debate a Jewish man. That's all. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. Why won't he debate with me? I'm asking him about his holy book and he won't answer the question. That's all I'm asking. You can ask me about the Bible or the Quran if you want. I don't mind. See how he ignores it? You got a phone first. My phone's dead, send it to me. This guy's racist. Do you not believe that every Muslim is a terrorist? I've watched your videos. Do you not believe that?
No. If you actually
let me quote him. I'll show you now. Let me get your phone.
First thing about me, I run a website called
Zionist something. I've got you on my channel. I've got you on my channel. Israel advocate. That's it.
I also run something called JudaismIslam.com, which builds bridges between brothers like you and me.
Can we have a debate then?
No, I'm building.
Please, I'm asking, please, can I have a reason debate with you, please? Because I have actually been looking to debate with you for a long time, and now you're here. I don't know if I'm here. I don't come here all the time.
I've come to shoot my own video.
Yeah, well, you've said stuff that I felt offended by.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you my call. We'll do this civilized. We'll not do it Speaker's Corner. Alright. We'll speak. I'm going to run away. He's going to run away, of course he's going to run away. Because he knows I've seen his videos, that's right. He says that all Muslims are terrorists, yeah, and that we're a problem to Britain. No, I don't. That's what he said. When have I ever said that? I'll show you now. Thank you. Might have to watch it for about 5 minutes. Go on, my
talk about recent history, you know. Yeah. So
these guys are Zionists, and you believe that Muslims are all terrorists. I don't know about anything else. I love Muslims. I just know that you believe all Muslims are terrorists. You said it. I'm going to quote him now. I'm going to quote him in his own video right now. One second. It's freedom of speech, man. We're having a debate, man. What's wrong with that?
Anyway, that's beside the point at the moment. That's not what we're talking about.
You said all Muslims are terrorists, and then you told them that you like them, and they're not all terrorists, and you contradicted yourself because I watched your videos, mate. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You contradicted yourself a lot.
I've never ever shown me one video where I said that Muslims are terrorists.
We'll have a conversation. A three-way conversation.
And what do you think of Kay Wilson? Do you think that she's inciting terrorism? Do you think she incites terrorism, Kay Wilson?
I think she was the victim of a terror attack.
But did she incite it?
Well, who cares about one person anyway? What we're talking about is the bigger picture.
Listen, fuck all that. Let me show you what
we're talking about is basically what right have the Zionists got, right? Whether you're a Jewish Zionist or you're a Christian Zionist, what right has a Zionist got to actually take over a piece of land, push the others out?
They're not allowed Palestine. Like they're allowed it. I'll shout if I fucking like that. I'm a Gentile. Gentile shout. Why are you going now? Why are you going when I'm finding your little thing in? You're not letting go.
Anyway, I'm going to go somewhere else now. See what else they do.
The Zionist doesn't want the truth. The Zionists hate the truth, man. They don't like it. Corruption. Stop killing Palestinian children and babies in Israel. Stop doing it. It's not right, mate. It's not right, man. Yeah, but you know. Why is it that we can't criticize Israel, but we can criticize Islam? We can criticize America, and we can criticize our own country? Why? I'm not going to fight. I'm years.
I don't want to debate. I build bridges. I've spent years trying to build relations.
What you've done is spent years trying to demonize Muslims. I've watched your channel, bro. I've watched it. I've put you on my channel.
So show me one thing where I did.
I'm getting.
I said one thing in my entire history of Speaker's Corner, which I regretted.
And that was good. I'm talking about on the Palestine Al-Qud march. Remember what he said there? To be fair, he runs a website. I know, but do you remember what he said at Al-Qud? Have a guess. I'll let you have a guess before I play it. What did you say at Al-Qud rally?
I've never said that all Muslims are terrorists.
Okay then.
I don't believe that. It's not something I believe. It's not something I would ever.
Of course, because I've watched you here talk to Muslims and tell them you respect them, but you don't.
Okay, so show me this video.
Don't worry, man. I've got that for you, man. Got that medicine. That medicine. Got that medicine for you, brother. I'm lucky that the internet's a bit slow right now.
Hezbollah terrorists. I'll call the people waving Hezbollah.
The Gentiles also have a voice, you know. I'm the voice of the Gentiles. I am the voice of the Gentiles.
Gentile is not a Jewish word.
Okay, that's why it's in even the Old Testament I believe.
Gentile's an English word. We speak Hebrew.
Yeah, man. So why is it, that in the Talmud it says that Gentiles, we should be slaves?
It doesn't say that.
Why does it say that? I can show you it.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
There you are. Wait, you're around here. Do you remember going here? Yes, yeah, you remember going here. Of course you did. Let me put it back a little bit. A little bit more, sorry. A little bit more, man. Back to this guy he was talking to one black guy actually he was, I think. Rastaman maybe.
Ready mode. Audio input.
It's always good to have debate. If people don't have debate, then things will never be said. I swear down, brother, I'm not being disrespectful. I've watched you a lot and I wanted to talk to you. I really did.
Nothing's wrong with debate, it's just you're coming out really angry and it's like...
Because I am angry at the fact that we are getting...
He's passionate. Anytime a black man speaks,
whenever a black man speaks, I'm angry. I would never hurt this man. I would never ever hurt this man in my life. So how am I being aggressive?
You're saying that...
being passionate and angry.
Yeah, look. Wait, now it's back a bit more. I haven't got. He's in between before this. Okay, Wilson. Was it off? Find it, man. Telling this guy that all of them are terrorists. I think he's around about
They're pointing to these guys, they're Hezbollah.
He's Hezbollah, he's a white man. How the fuck is he Hezbollah? He's
called Mick Napier.
According to him, we are lesser humans.
He's called Mick Napier.
Look. You want peace and he wants war, you
This is Hezbollah! Oh my god. I'm calling Hezbollah!
This was London, mate. How's he Hezbollah?
Okay, look at the Hezbollah flag.
Right.
There's a Hezbollah flag there. You can see it in the video.
What's wrong with Hezbollah?
Hezbollah are a terrorist organisation. Crying out loud. I'm not against Islam. I'm not against Islam. You're perverting my word. I've spent years...
You can't argue that.
I'm triggered.
Or is it passion? Anger. No, it's passion.
It's passion. I would never hurt this man.
You're supporting a terrorist group.
I'll shake your hand. I'll never ever fight you, brother. I'm talking this debate. I really wanted to debate.
You know what Hezbollah stands for? You know what Hezbollah stands for?
Hezbollah is actually a resistance movement to Israel's occupation. That's what it is. ISIS is terrorism. Hezbollah is a resistance fighter group in Israel to stop children getting killed and women getting killed. Right now, 1 million people have been killed in Palestine and we don't hear about it on the news.
You know that Hezbollah wants to
They went to Syria as well.
Hezbollah wants to destroy the state of Israel. You know that?
Then good. State of Israel's not meant to be there. State of Israel's stolen from Muslims given by the British. I can ask you, what right do the British have to give Israel to the That's all I want to ask. Because I actually respect what you say. I've seen a few videos. I see that you like to talk to people, and I'd like to talk to you because I'm a proper Gentile. I'd like to talk to
Gentleman, but like...
Gentile.
What's a Gentile though?
I don't call you... I call you Aki.
I'm calling myself what you'd call me.
No, I don't. This is the thing. You're building straw man. First you say I call Muslim.
Am I a Shiksa? Maybe I'm a Shiksa.
Why don't you listen? Why
coming up with all these words?
Like,
I know them. I've read the Talmud. I've read the English translation of... Not all of it. No, that's lies because it's 10 books, so it's more than that. But I have read the main parts of the Talmud in English that I need to know.
What section said
Well, that Jesus is sitting in shit, common excrement.
It doesn't say that anywhere.
Semen, does it?
So what?
You're lucky my phone's dead, you know. So I've got all of the stuff on it.
Listen. If you speak to the EDL, yeah, they're going to tell you things about Islam. They're going to take verses either out of context or make them up. Yeah. They're going to tell you that Muslims are commanded to go around and convert people by the sword, which isn't true.
But
they're going to listen. I listen to you.
What are you going to do when the I didn't get converted by a sword. What are you going to do?
I'm not saying the I'm saying the EDL. Okay. The EDL, racist people, Islamophobes will read the Quran and they'll read verses either out of context or make them up entirely and say this is what Muslims believe. When if you speak to an educated brother who goes to masjid 5 times a day, he's going to give you the context. He's going to tell you how what you've been told is you've been misled. They've either taken something out of context or they've made it up entirely. So all I'm saying, to come back to your Gentile comment, Jews believe what Jews actually believe, rather than what you've read on a racist website. Jews believe that all people...
Why must it be a racist
Because
website?
if it's making up, just like if the EDL say things like Muslims go around and they convert people by the sword and they're commanded to kill the infidel, the kuffar, that's a lie. And it's coming from a racist place usually. Okay. So I'm saying the same thing. In my religion, it says that you, a Muslim, a human, are my brother. It says, Betzelem Elohim. We're all created in the image of God. That means we all have free will and we're all brothers. It says that I'm commanded to love you. I can't discriminate you. I can't oppress you. It's same as Islam. No, it's same as Islam. If you compare the Quran to the Torah, there's so much commonality. I'll give you. You want to know the Talmud? You came to me and you started talking about the Talmud. I'll tell you my favorite verse in the Quran, Sabi. My favorite verse in the Quran, I said this 2 seconds ago, is someone who saves a life, it's like he saved all of humanity. Someone who takes a life, it's like he's destroyed all of humanity. You know where that was first said? The Talmud. It's not in the Torah, because the Quran says he told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Jewish people if you take a life, it's like you've taken all of them. And where is that bound? It's not bound in the Torah, it's bound in the Talmud. So before you attack the Talmud, be very careful because the Quran quotes it. The Quran quotes the Talmud.
I'll accept your point there. I'll fully accept your point. Because like I said, I went to ask. But can I ask one more question, please, brother?
Sorry, one second.
Go on.
What the Quran is saying that sooner or later the state of Israel is going to fall.
What ayah does it say that?
One question.
But
When you become Muslim, when that day happens, will you turn to Muslim?
Who says that day will happen then? Who says it will happen?
When it happens, are you going to turn to Muslim? Are you? Yes or no? You're not. Can I ask you?
Can I ask about one more question that I want to ask you? The Temple Mount. You know what that is, right? The Temple Mount in Israel. Now it says in the Torah, I'm not too sure about the Talmud, I will be honest. But it does say in the Torah, that the Jews are not allowed in Israel until the Messiah has come.
Why does it say that?
It says it. I haven't got it on me, but it does say it.
What you're quoting is a verse from
when the Messiah comes back, that's when the Jews are meant to be in Israel, on Mount Temple, am I right?
No.
So I'm wrong.
So listen, and I'm going to tell you. What you're quoting a group called the Tuareg Carter. This is actually what I wanted to make my video about. Could I just film you literally saying that? I'm not going to twist it.
You can, I don't mind.
That's
what I actually believe. That is what I believe.
Okay, so 2 minutes, let me just take this off. Thank you.
Trust me, I've watched a few. I've always wanted to debate this guy because I've seen some of the videos.
Literally, all I want is for you to just wait there 2 seconds. Let me just.
About basically that fact there, because it is a fact that the Jews are not meant to be in Israel until the Messiah comes. And it says it in their book. There's something called the Temple Mount, that's half Muslim, half Jewish. You've got IDF that stop Muslims praying there sometimes, and sometimes they don't. But it's up to the Jews if they want them to pray on them, which is very wrong. What about Al-Aqsa?
Just for the purpose of camera, can you just say what you said again about the Jews?
What? About the Temple Mount?
Yeah.
That the Jews are not allowed in Israel until the Messiah's come and led them back to the Mount Temple or Temple Mount, whichever way you put it.
And where did you hear that?
That's around everywhere. It's in the Torah.
Do you know the what we call the pasuk or the ayah in the Torah that's from the surah?
I don't know what it's from. To be honest, I'm not Jewish, but I do know that it's in there. It says that Jews they deserve Israel when the Messiah comes. The Messiah is not here unless the Messiah is the devil. And you lot are worshipping the devil, then the Messiah is not here. You shouldn't be in Israel. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be in Israel.
So I'll answer now. What you're talking is...
I'm not even being rude, it's just a fact.
It's a group called the Tuareg Carter who spread this belief. And it's based on a verse in the Song of Solomon. It's 2:7. If I can pull it up.
Do you know who Rabbi Beck is?
Yes.
Rabbi Beck also says it.
He's from
Stamford Hill. Yes, I respect him as a Jew. I like him very much.
So all I'm saying, the Tuareg Carter are a few hundred families. The overwhelming majority of Jews disagree with their interpretation. Yeah, they're a tiny sect of Eastern European Jews. For instance, all the Jews from the Muslim world, the Arab world, who used to live in Algeria, Syria, they all move and support Israel. The Zionists, they have one of the largest political parties in Israel, represents them in that they all believe that religiously they're allowed back to the state of Israel. So what you're talking, there's a verse in the Song of Songs which talks about gazelles in the hands of the field. It says nowhere anything about waiting for the Messiah. Instead, what they're quoting is a verse in the Talmud which interprets that verse a certain way. But no Jew throughout history, up until the last 100 years ago, ever believed that this was an actual law. They thought it was something called a mashal, a parable. So if you read, for instance, one of our greatest rabbis, Nachmanides, Ramban, who is way before the Tuareg Carter and much closer to the authentic tradition, or is part of the authentic tradition, unlike this modern sect. He says that Jews are commanded in every generation to try and take acquisition of the land, to try and acquire the land in every generation. The Rambam, who's another great rabbi who was codified the tradition of the authors of the Talmud, in something called the Mishnah Torah, he says that if a Jew is commanded to live in a non-Jewish city in Israel rather than living in a Jewish city outside of Israel. He says that if you live in Israel, you're forbidden to leave Israel unless you're leaving it to get married, to study Torah, or save your property from being destroyed by someone else. So if you live in Israel, you can't even leave, and that's in the Mishnah Torah. So whatever the Tuareg Carter have told you, they're lying. They're misread. They're not like they are
ultra-Orthodox Jews who are reading. That's the Jews I respect.
I'm an ultra-Orthodox Jew. What does that even mean?
If you was ultra-Orthodox, you wouldn't be dressed like this.
What? With payoff?
You'd have your hair, you'd have your shirt. You'd be looking like Stamford Hill.
Just want to say Jazakallahu for the other day, brother.
You would be.
I know you didn't, wasn't you? Sorry. It's like with one of the guys that came to my defence.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to calm down and everything.
Yeah, so it was. Thank you.
Joseph.
Yeah.
My problem ain't that. If you're thinking, this is another thing I don't like. A lot of Jews think that you're anti-Semitic if you don't like the policy in Israel. You don't like the policy in Palestine. And if I wait, let me just finish. Sorry. If I was to say to you now that Jews in England own the media industry, what would you tell me?
I would ask you to name. I would ask you to name them.
I could do that, not today. Maybe we have another debate. I'll come back.
Okay, you've got my card.
Yeah.
And you email me. You email me the Jews that you think control the British media.
And also, what do Jews believe in Jesus? Do they believe he died for them?
So I can tell you what I believe. So no Jew believes that Jesus died for us. The overwhelming majority of Jews think the Islamic interpretation of Isa is way more palatable. We don't believe that God can have a son. That's not inside the Jewish tradition. Most Jews don't believe that he was either a prophet or that he was the Son of God. However, what we are taught is to respect both Christianity and Islam. In fact, I'm allowed to pray in a masjid. I'm allowed to learn Torah in a masjid, in a mosque. Yeah? Because we consider you fellow monotheists. So what we think of is Jesus is not really there. Just like I don't believe Muhammad is a prophet, I don't believe Jesus.
Jesus was Jewish.
Fine. Just like I don't believe that Muhammad was a prophet, I don't believe that Jesus is a prophet. However, I like the message that both of them brought to the world, at least in their most basic form. I think Islam is a religion that can enhance and beautify this world. One of my favourite settler rabbis actually said it would be his preference if Europe was under Islam, if it was an Islamic state. But why? Because our two religions are so similar. So whatever you've read online on the websites you go to, you need to make the differentiation between, because you're not doing it at the moment, between Judaism and between Zionism. Now, you've got the privilege of speaking to a Zionist Orthodox Jew at the moment. But
that's why I wanted to talk to you, so I could get some facts from a real Zionist.
Yeah, but you have to do it in a respectful way, because I've got tremendous respect for Islam, and with the greatest respect you came over, I wanted to debate you, screaming at me, you believe that
I'll be honest, no disrespect, but I have actually been looking to debate you for ages. I thought I can only catch you now, so I might as well.
So, I'll tell you what, I don't like debating the Speaker's Corner, literally because I'm always outnumbered and it's always a little intimidating. But I will happily arrange any interview. Not now.
One thing I have to say to you, me, I'm not on violence. Violence is something we have learned is stupid. Violence is what gets you nowhere. Yeah, debate and intelligence and facts is what gets you.
But what I would say is, I much prefer civilized conversation, because if you take us away from here, where no one's ego's involved, where I'm not trying to impress everyone, you're not trying to impress anyone, and we can just talk openly as brothers, then you can ask me any question about Judaism. I can ask you any question about Islam. You can ask me about Zionism. I can tell you what Zionist means to me. And it's away from all this, because here egos get in the way. My own ego gets in the way. I start trying to.
I understand that, but I only have one more thing for you. Was like, for example, let's just say he was I was China. Imagine I'm China, yeah. World War II's happened, and I've said, hey, you know what, yeah, all you Muslims can have Cornwall. Would I be right to do that?
No.
Well, that's what happened with the British government and the Jews in Israel.
That's what you think happened. If you want to know my history is very different to that. If you're actually interested in my perspective, and I can tell you how Jews understand it, because we believe we've lived in that land continuously. So take Hebron. Hebron had a huge Jewish community, or certainly a sizable Jewish community, used as an exaggeration, with synagogues and religious schools, until 1929, when there was a massacre and they were driven out of the city. Then Jordan conquered the West Bank in 1948, and they enacted a law that said it's illegal for a Jew to even live there. Yet Jews had been living there unbroken. Jews were massacred in the Crusades by Christians, not by Muslims, in the Crusades in Hebron, in the 16th century. So like, we've been living there a long time. Now, I believe that Jews have a right to have a state, just like I believe that many of the indigenous people in the Middle East have a right to their own state. I don't believe that should come at the expense of anyone. I don't believe that Britain has the right to create that state. I think the right is because Jews have lived there all the time.
Are the Jews not originally from Russia? Aren't they originally from the Caucasus?
Do you believe any other amount of Jews from Europe can go there?
So I'll answer. So for me, if you look at the population of Israel, if you look at the population of Israel, 50% of them are from, over 50% of them are from Muslim lands, and less than 50% of them are from Europe, Christian lands, yeah? Those that were living in the Middle East, yeah? The Ottomans used to control that territory. It was a Muslim caliphate, the Khilafah, yeah?
But they did get along with the Jews, didn't they?
Yeah. The Ottomans were one of the best of the caliphates. Other caliphates weren't so good for us, but the Ottomans were usually very, very good for us, most of the caliphs. Now, what happened was, the Jews had lived there Muslims had lived in that region, Christians had lived in that region. When the Allies defeated the Ottomans in World War I, the Ottomans took the wrong side, they lost their territory, and suddenly there was a power vacuum. And so what the world said, it said the people who are indigenous to this region, they deserve countries. So Syria was created, Jordan was created. Jordan was actually part of the Mandate of Palestine that was supposed to be a Jewish state. Most people don't know that. Egypt was kind of created. Lebanon was created. All of these countries were created for who? The indigenous people who used to live in the Ottoman Empire. Now Jews also lived in that empire. So my belief is that just like the Muslims, just like the Christians should have a state, so too should the Jews.
Not in June.
The return. Yeah. So if you look at it slightly, I'm answering in a lawyer sort of way, but I'm going to answer your question.
Do you believe that the conditions that they live in is fair?
So if you actually go to Ramallah, has anyone been to Ramallah here? So if you go to Ramallah, Google it because you won't believe me, but you'll see Mercedes-Benz driving around. You'll see, there's one wall, right, it's 5 stories.
Maybe Ramallah is like that, but I'm saying generally the environments that the Palestinians are living to, yeah, I'm saying generally the quality of living that the Palestinians are living in, yeah. Are you going to tell me that basically they're living in a beautiful place?
So let me give you a real story from me and my wife. My wife and I were travelling on a bulletproof bus from Israel, Jerusalem, to a place called Hebron, which I was just talking about.
Why was it bulletproof then?
Yeah, because
you had to mention that. At least it was a missile. It was a missile.
Let me finish.
I'd rather live in Israel than Palestine.
Let me finish. When we're driving, I'm going to give you a real story, which hopefully articulates my point. When I'm driving through, I'm looking at all these big expensive villas, and I keep saying to my wife, just be patient, it's got so. I said, like, the West is so deluded. If they look at these huge villas, like, they wouldn't think the Palestinians were impoverished. And then 30 seconds later, I looked at her and I said, actually, if the Palestinian activist was taking the same route, instead of noticing the villa, would they notice the little shack? And the truth is, in the West Bank, not Gaza, in the West Bank, you have incredible affluence and you have poverty. If you look at a Palestinian refugee camp in the West Bank, it looks like any other city, compared to like refugee camps in, say, Syria or Turkey. However, Gaza's different. Gaza, there is actual real poverty and hardship. But the West
So you
Bank,
believe the way that the Palestinians are being treated in Gaza as well?
do I believe? So I'll give you an example. So truthfully, I believe that the reason the Palestinians have it so bad in Gaza is because of 2 factors: Hamas, and then the second factor, Egypt.
Hamas is chosen.
Egypt.
So it's not the Jews' fault. So it's Jews. So it's just the Muslim. The reason why
who said Muslim? Who said Muslim? You said Muslim.
The Palestinians. Yeah?
No, I'm curious. You asked me an interesting question about the Palestinians. What do you think about when the Palestinians left?